Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've all had a great start to the year. In today's video I'm going to be talking all about pet peeves and bugbears for running, races, park runs. These are things that really annoy runners and are just annoying in general, so bear them in mind for races and park runs. So we'll get straight into it. The first is all about litter, that is with regards to gel packets, sweet packets, even water bottles, but I'll touch on water bottles a bit later. So gel packets and sweet packets, obviously people want to take on energy during races, but there is no reason for you to litter. It is not the race organiser's responsibility to pick up your litter after a race. It is your responsibility to look after the packets that you have during the race. So if you've got gel packets, sweet packets, things like that, and you're using them up, do not discard them on the race course. It's not very environmentally friendly and it's really rude. And I've seen after races where the streets are just littered with sticky gel packets and it's just not necessary. If you are carrying them during the race, there is no reason why you can't put them back where you had them. Yes, it will be sticky, but it's better for the environment, so put them away somewhere safe or keep onto them until there is a bin, which is usually after water stations. So now that we are onto water stations, do bear in mind that water bottles are a trip hazard. If you're finished with your water bottle, discard it to the side of the course or in bins that are usually further down the course after the water station. If you're going to hang on to it, great. If you're not, make sure you discard it in a safe place. That doesn't mean flinging your bottles. There's been times during races where I've very nearly dodged a water bottle coming at my head, where people just fling their water bottles and don't really care where they're flinging it. Just be considerate that there are other runners on the course and that you have to be safe. Don't drop them just where you are because other runners behind you can trip on them. So yeah, discard them in bins that are dedicated after water stations or at least at the side of the course, and mind where you're throwing them. The next set of pet peeves and bugbears that I have apply to both races and parkruns. I've seen these at parkruns lately and they're really annoying, so I thought I'd bring them up. So the first applies to both races and parkruns, and that's to start in a position that you know is the right position for you. There's a reason why there's race corrals at races, and it's to let the faster runners start off first and then the slower runners to trickle along behind them. If you overestimate your finishing time, if you put in a finishing time that's quicker than what you know you're capable of, that's just not fair. You will be holding up people behind you if you do it that way. So yeah, do position yourself in the right place. That goes for parkrun as well. There's a lot of times at parkrun where there are people that are slower in front and they sort of block the paths and things for everyone else. Obviously everyone is entitled to run parkrun, you can do it at whatever speed you are, but there's a reason for having the line and the positions that you can be in. Don't hold up the parkrun for other people just because you want to be at the start. Position yourself correctly. The next, which I have encountered on many occasions and is, I think, absolutely disgusting, which is spitting and snot rocketing, both during races and parkruns. I've seen this. I've seen it particularly during a race where someone has had spit or a snot rocket on someone's back, and that is just absolutely disgusting. If you have to do it, because sometimes you might have a bit of a runny nose or whatever else and you might need to do it and it's necessary, move to the side of the course and make sure there's no one around you, especially when it's windy. You don't know whether you're going to spit and the wind will blow it back into someone that's behind you. So if you can help it, don't do it. And if you can't help it, at least do it where there's no one around. The next bugbear pet peeve that I notice a lot, which is that if you want to take a walk break, if you need a breather, whatever else, which is perfectly acceptable, you can walk, I take a breather, that's fine. But do make sure that you stay to a side of the course, don't just stop dead in the middle of the course. That can cause a major collision with other runners behind you if they're not aware that you're going to stop. You can't just stop dead right in the middle of a course. Do move to the left or the right depending on your course. It might be during parkrun or a race that you don't have two-way traffic, and that's fine. Just move to either side of the course. Particularly on parkruns and things like that, move to the left because you usually have two-way traffic on parkrun courses, so you'll have the faster runners coming back. So just make sure that you keep to the left, don't just stop dead right in the middle of the course. It's very dangerous. I did touch in this briefly on my last one with regards to not stopping in the middle of the course, but for parkruns particularly, like I said, with there being two-way traffic, I know with my local parkrun it is an out and back course, so you will have two-way traffic most of the time. So you run out and you'll have the faster runners coming back on the same path the other way. Do make sure that you keep to the left so that the faster runners have their space on the other side of the path. Not only that, but other users of local spaces like Rutland Water, for example, where I go, and parks, things like that. There will be regular users that are not park running that you need to take into consideration. You can't just shove them off the course or whatever else. They have the same right of the course and the place as you do. So do be considerate of other people and the two-way traffic system. The next is regards to running with friends. Obviously you can, but do take into consideration that if you're running in quite a big group, then you can cause quite a roadblock. And if you're on narrow paths in park runs, for example, and you're running like 2 or 3 abreast, you can be blocking people from behind you being able to get past. Because if there's a two-way system and you're blocking the half of the path that you would usually go up, there's no room for overtaking. So try to be considerate of that. Try and split up a bit, or just meet up at the end. It's not too bad. So yeah, just be considerate of the fact that if you're running that much abreast, people can't overtake. You might be blocking people behind you. Then we get on to headphones. Now, some races don't allow headphones whatsoever. I'll touch on that briefly in a minute. But if races do allow headphones, you've obviously got the option of aftershocks, which is a headphone that is widely accepted on races now because it's using bone conduction technology and you can still hear everything along with your music. However, if headphones are accepted, it is usually a sort of rule that you only have one in. That's for safety reasons, mostly. Being able to hear the marshals. If you have 2 in, you wouldn't be able to hear marshals. Another one which I've experienced before on quite a big race was that there was an ambulance coming on the course, and there was quite a few runners that had headphones in both ears and they couldn't hear the ambulance, and we had to pull them to the side of the course because they just didn't realise. So yeah, for safety reasons, it's best just to have one earphone in so that if anything does happen, if there's things happening around you and you need to move out the way, at least you'll know about it. Same with marshals. If there was anything coming up on the course, you wouldn't be able to hear the marshal tell you that something is coming up. You wouldn't be aware of it. If there was a turning, for example, and you missed it, that would be your own fault because you have 2 earphones in and can't hear marshals. So, you know, just take that into consideration when you are wearing headphones. So moving on to my next point, if headphones aren't allowed and they are banned from races, you aren't allowed to wear them, do not, for the love of God, play your music through your phone and things like that out loud, just on full blast. You may have different music tastes to other people, it may be off-putting for other people. There have been so many times where the genre of music that someone is playing is just really annoying, and if you're at the same pace as someone else and you have to endure that for most of the race, it is just super annoying. Just be really considerate about what you're doing and how it will affect other people. Sure, you might want to listen to music and it might help you, but just consider other people. And it might be worthwhile doing some training runs where you don't run with music, so that if you have a race where you can't have headphones, then, you know, you can manage a race without having to play music full blast through your phone. So they are all the pet peeves that I can think about, things that I have encountered quite a lot during both races and parkruns, and they're things that really bug me and I know that they bug other people, so please try not to do them, or at least be considerate of how it's going to affect other people and be safe. If you have encountered any of these, or you have any other pet peeves for races and parkruns that you've encountered yourself, leave them in the comments below and let me know. Do make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel to see more content. I put out a video every Sunday. And yeah, I will see you again in my next video. Bye.